Hi, this is Dean Jackson. Welcome to the More Cheese, Less Whiskers podcast. And this week, I've got something that I'd love for you to hear. I remember about 3 years ago now, I was running full-page ads in Success Magazine telling about the amazing 9-word email that revives dead leads. And what was really interesting about that was I was experimenting with a new approach to engaging with people who would respond to the ad. And it was really interesting because people would call it an article. And I'll post up the article for us so you can see what I was doing. But the amazing thing was we ran that ad for several months and averaged a 68% opt-in on the landing page from cold traffic from a magazine ad. And what was even more amazing was that we would get over 40% engagement once people responded or left their name and their email address. So I used a very simple sequence to engage with people who had responded for the book, the Email Mastery book. And you can see that landing page at emailmastery.com. So you can kind of reverse engineer the process here to see how it happens. And then I would invite people to get together with me on the phone to brainstorm some 9-word emails and subject lines. So we would have these group calls, just like the one I'm going to play for you, which was the very first of these calls. And what was amazing to me was to hear people who I've never met before coming on and sharing the results that they were getting with this 9-word email that they read about in my article in Success Magazine. So there's lots of lessons to deconstruct here. I want you to hear this because I'm going to deconstruct this and share with you exactly how you can apply this to your business. So enjoy this episode.
Hey everybody, it's Dean Jackson. Welcome to the Email Mastery call here. Just have a few people on the line, and but it'll be more than we would want to have kind of an open line here. So I've got it on mute mode for right now, and I thank you for coming. First of all, it's been great to kind of connect with all of you. I've been able to, as the Success Magazine's just kind of hitting the newsstands now, I've been able to connect individually with a lot of you. And so I'm excited that the magazine's going to be kind of hitting newsstands. It's hitting this week. It'll be everywhere this weekend. So I won't be able to kind of keep up that pace of being able to connect with everybody individually. But what I wanted to do was kind of, while we've got kind of a manageable group here, to spend some time and give some personal kind of interaction with you guys and help kind of coach and guide you into choosing the very best 9-word emails that we could create, and maybe getting some quick success stories that we'll be able to share with everybody as we go through the next few weeks, as everybody starts getting the magazine on the newsstand. So it's very kind of interesting to see what's happening already. I've had some interactions with people who have told me that they've already sent out a 9-word email and they're getting response already. And I heard from a gentleman that owns a jiu-jitsu training studio, and he sent it out and got four students to sign up for his $1,800 one-year program, that's a great result. Not uncommon. We've had so many different types of people who've tried these in all kinds of different industries. I heard from a mortgage broker who had sent out the 9-word email, and has 2 loans in process now, just in the last week, from reconnecting with people. And so I wanted to kind of share the psychology and the story really behind why this works so well, and how you can really maximize it. So there's a couple of different things going on here. The number one of which is realizing that the leads that you connect with, or the prospects, or the people who come into your showroom or come into your store or inquire about something, or you meet them in person, and for whatever reason the timing isn't right. We all have so many of those people, and I, as an observer, I've seen that happening for years and years. And then I read a book and had a study, because I was really kind of digging into this topic of lead conversion, because that's really where the biggest opportunity is in most businesses, is converting more of the leads that they actually generate. And what I found, there's a company called the Inquiry Handling Service, and what they do is they manage the fulfillment and follow-up for all kinds of different industries. They process millions of leads every year. If you've ever seen in a magazine the reader service cards where you circle this and send back the card and they'll send you information, or if you go to a trade show and fill out a request for information, they're the company that handles a lot of those things for big corporations. So they've got a huge volume of leads that come in. And what they found is that by doing extensive researching and surveying of these groups, they do something they call "Did You Buy" surveys. And so if you came to the home show and you inquired about faucets, they would follow up with you every 90 days. They'd follow up with a sampling of that group, and they would just ask, hey, you inquired about faucets at the home show. Did you buy any faucets? They're not trying to sell you faucets. They're not trying to convince you to buy faucets. They're just doing the research on this. So they would follow up with people at 90 days, at 6 months, 9 months, 12 months, all the way out to 18 months. And what they found was that just over half of the people who inquire about something will buy whatever it is they inquired about within 18 months. Now, the interesting thing that they also found is that only 15% of the people who inquire about something will do it in the first 90 days. So that kind of struck me as something kind of really interesting, because I've come from a real estate background, and there's a kind of a longer buying cycle or selling cycle or kind of decision cycle for people in real estate. And I realized how true that actually was. But what I also observed was that in most businesses, in real estate especially, people are more concerned with how fast leads convert. They want to generate leads today, and then if they're not ready to buy whatever it is that you're selling in the next week or so, then they kind of look at them as tire kickers or looky-loos. And, you think about that salespeople, and whenever you're generating leads and trying to convert them, even if you're the owner of the company, that's the role that you're playing. And we all want people to do something now. And so this whole business environment has really kind of perpetuated that. We set up this whole thing that if, qualified leads or even the language around the kind of leads that we talk about, it's almost as if they're dirty somehow. You talk about, are they scrubbed leads? And, you think about it for any kind of industry, people who inquire about a network marketing opportunity or about insurance or about a car or about jiu-jitsu or a mortgage or any kind of thing. There's a good chance that they're not ready to buy yet, but they will be going to buy within the next 18 months. And so what I really found after doing that, after listening and hearing about that, thinking about it, I thought, I run into this all the time. I see all these business owners and real estate agents especially generating all these leads, and if they don't convert them sort of in that first couple of weeks or 30 days, they end up treating them like they're not good leads, and they don't do anything to follow up with them, or they start generating so many leads that they can't follow up with everybody or connect with everybody all at once, so they end up missing out. People slip through the fingers. And what I found was this 9-word email is an incredible way to reconnect with people at just the right time. So we started out by sending an email to all the prospects who had that we had generated in who were 90 days or more old, and just sending the 9 words, "Are you still looking for a house in Georgetown?" Now, it was amazing. What happened is how many people responded to that message. Now, some of them would respond no, some of them would respond yes. A few of them would say, "Oh, I was just thinking about reconnecting with you," or they would kind of go right into the conversation. But most people would respond with a very short answer. And that's okay, because the whole psychology of this is that email is just to start the conversation. So you can imagine sometimes people would, you send an email, people get that email, and it's almost like if you saw them at Starbucks or you saw them in person and you asked them just that simple question, they would kind of turn around and maybe look at you and pause for a moment, because they're not, are you talking to me? Like feeling like, is this email just for me? Are you really talking to me? And they respond back with one word. And then when you reply back to them, now they feel like they're really engaged in a question or in a dialogue. And what we found is that after about 2 or 3 exchanges like that, we would get what I called the love letter, where we would get, now people would tell you everything about their plans, because now they're engaged in a conversation with somebody. It's not just a hit and run kind of message, or it's not, there's not kind of any hidden agenda. It's truly out of interest and interest in engaging in a dialogue and continuing the relationship. So I'm excited to help you guys kind of come through that process. And so what I'd like to do is kind of brainstorm some of these emails, how we could use them for your business. And so in a second, if you'd like to brainstorm, or if you've had an experience of this and maybe you want to brainstorm the next steps with this, if you press *6 on your phone, that will bring you into the queue. I'll be able to see that you've raised your hand, and I can bring you into the call here, and I'll work with you to brainstorm a 9-word email and a subject line that would work for your business. So don't be shy about that. And there's some magic really in the way that you present those words. And so we want to be careful to do it in a way that is engaging, but it's charged neutral. And so I'm going to try and point out some of the pitfalls kind of thing, where you can run into a situation where you present the email from your point of view, from your benefit, without looking at it from their benefit, thinking about what they really want out of this. So when I look at that, the thing that I'm most interested in is, what would I say to these people that would encourage them to get engaged, and talk about the benefit of what it is that they've asked for, or if it's a specific thing, to reference that in that email. So if we use the faucet example from the home show, if somebody came to the home show and filled out some information for a catalog about faucets, or responded to your a manufacturer's ad or something, you might, and you hadn't connected with them in 90 days, it might send an email that just said, "Are you still looking for faucets?" And, or are you still looking to lower your mortgage payment? Or are you still looking for a house in Georgetown? Whatever the thing was that started the dialogue in the first place, whenever you think about that, that's really what's going to be that's really going to be the thing that will be the common thread that will join, reconnect you with those people. So, when I think about these, the subject line that we want to use is something that's just going to get their attention. So something that is not a clever type of subject line, not something that is going to, be sort of a headline. The most successful subject line that you can use is their first name. So we start looking at who are we talking to. So we just start with their name and put Dean in the subject line, or put one of the things we do with real estate agents when we're reconnecting with them or talking with them about one of our real estate programs, we'll send an email with the address of the property that they just listed. We have a service where we do just listed and just sold postcards for real estate agents. And so we get a feed of all of the new listings that come on all over the country. And we'll send out an email that just has 22 Greystone in the subject line. And we may say, is 22 Greystone still available? That's a short, personal, expecting a reply email. Those are the three elements that make these really work. So let's get to brainstorming some of them. Press *6 on your phone, and that'll bring you into the queue here. And let's start with our first one, and I'll be able to illustrate some of these examples by doing live examples here as we go. So welcome. Who's this?
Hey, Dean, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Hey, this is Jeremy, actually. We connected. I was the guy with Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu school.
Okay, Jeremy, perfect. Yeah. So tell me what happened. Your email was really great. You sent the one that had their name in the subject line, and you just said, were you still interested in learning Jiu-Jitsu? Is that right?
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty simple, and it's funny because I never thought about something like that, and it's just a simple question, and it doesn't even look like a marketing message. It just looks like a simple question. So I was surprised at the feedback we got, and we're actually at 5 now.
Oh, perfect.
To join, and so yeah,
now,
each one is worth at least $1,800 to us because it's on $150 a month for 12 months. So it's been pretty good for us.
That's awesome. Now, when you sent that message out, how long had it been since you had connected with some of these people?
Everybody was different. I had about 138 leads. I did it for I'm actually in Pennsylvania, and I just opened this school, but I did it for my Texas school. Mm-hmm. And so we've had some of the people on there, as far back as like 2008.
Okay, yeah. So it's been a while, right? That's great. And so what kind of responses did you get? How did you connect all the dots there?
Some people, like you said earlier, some people just said, hey, I'm not interested now. Some people, and it was good because some people, my school in Texas is actually primarily the economy is run by like the Air Force Base pretty much, and then some colleges. So we had a lot of guys that were stationed somewhere else, or they had moved, and so it was cool. So it helped me clean up my list a little bit.
Sure.
And then, but yeah, a lot of people were saying, yeah, I am interested. I'm sorry, it's been a while. I couldn't afford it at the time, but I got a new job now.
Yeah.
Or some people would just respond back, well, yeah, I am interested, but it's just too expensive. And that was cool because we actually have a scholarship program where we pay for half of that. So it's still income for us. And then it does some other stuff like with our scholarship program. We actually have people, in return, they do blogging for us, and we teach them blogging and internet marketing.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
And so it helps us out either way, so it's kind of a return on investment for us. So it's cool. So yeah, we got 5 people, and we got some people interested in our scholarship program as well. So
that's great. Well, and that's the good news is I love what you've done there is thinking ahead about what's going to happen when they respond, because they will respond. A lot of times people get shocked by the amount of response that they get. Like they'll send it to, a couple of thousand people and end up with a ton of responses. We had a dental hygiene trainer in Canada. She has a dental hygiene continuing education school, and they had 3,200 prospects who hadn't bought anything yet. And in Canada, they get audited for their continuing education and their portfolio. And all the audits go out on the same day. So all the audit notices, everybody knows when they're getting audited. So the day after the audit notice, she sent out just a 9-word email that would say, "Hi, Jeremy, are you being audited this year?" That was it. And she got over 800 replies to that email. And so it's wow. You're like, yeah, it's like, what? You get swamped with all of this, stuff. But, it worked out really well. She added 300 new people to her portfolio manager program, and all from just starting with that dialogue. And you said something there that nobody wants to be sold to. It doesn't feel like marketing. It feels like a conversation. And that's really what people really respond to, because that's how we talk to our friends. I mean, if you look through your inbox, you see the messages from your friends and the people that that are real dialogues. That's where you get your cues for effective email marketing. Not from the email marketing messages that you get, because I guarantee you the people that have a much higher open rate and response rate than any marketing message that you're getting in your inbox,
Yeah, and that was what surprised me, because all this stuff we sent out before, it's kind of like I study copywriting, I'm sure just like everybody else does, and you're trying to make it look like almost like a sales letter. Hey, check out this video, but it's not even just a simple question. It was really cool. I like the whole idea of that.
Awesome. Well, now you're going to build this into your whole system there, right? It's like this little gatekeeper now that every month you're going back to the people who you hadn't spoken to in 90 days, and you got yourself a real system there. Every 90 days, send out that message. And
and I wanted, and if I hope I'm not out of line here, I just wanted, if I could ask you a question, like, do you think
absolutely.
This would work for something like, I do affiliate marketing too, in the jiu-jitsu market, like we sell like Brazilian jiu-jitsu videos and different things like that. And so would it be something like right towards the end of the launch, would that be something I could send out to the list of people, like, just say, hey, did you buy this product? Do you think that would be an effective thing to do for affiliate marketing as well, or more for small business
here's the
owners?
thing is, rather than going to did you buy this product or whatever, what would be something that would engage them that's kind of one layer before that? Where now you're saying, it's not so much about, because that could seem like a sales message too,
Yes.
So what would be, how could you engage in that?
Maybe asking, like, hey, were you still interested in product X, or were you still interested in this product? Or
yeah, exactly. Or have you seen, because normally when somebody's doing a launch like that, they'll watch the video, they'll have the videos, or they'll have whatever their launch sequence stuff is. And that could be a message. Hey, have you seen, Jeremy's video.
Yeah,
something
definitely.
like that, right? Where you're talking about the action, the content, something that they can answer yes or no to start that dialogue.
Yeah, no, I think it's really cool too, and I think it might bring you your lead, just the people on your list, bring you a little bit closer to your list. Because like even when you and I were going back and forth on email, I'm like, yeah, it's cool, because I've been studying you and Joe and listening to you guys' podcast forever, and I was like, hey, that's really cool. He actually responded back to me, and I was like, it was almost like the same thing, like a 9-word email, and you and I just started talking back and forth about that.
Yeah, exactly, and that's the thing. Like, there's, the two things, like this is such a transferable skill, and there's so many ways to use this that I'm sharing the 9-word email, like, for reconnecting with old prospects as a great starter strategy, but there's so many ways now, and I'm modeling for people a way of connecting with people before they become 90-day-old engagements. The moment that somebody comes to your website and opts in or leaves their name and email to get something, that's the peak of your relationship right now. They've never liked you more than that moment. And I've never met you or had any interaction with you, but now it feels like we've had a connection, and that all happened just through email.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
Well,
yeah.
Thanks so much for sharing, Jeremy.
Hey, no problem. Thanks for having me on.
Okay, thanks.
Hey, Dean, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Let me just remind people, if you want to talk about your 9-word email, just press *6 on your phone, and that will light up my dashboard here that I can see that you've asked or you want to talk here. Okay, so who am I talking to?
Dean, this is Derek Radford.
Hey, Derek, how are you?
Oh, I'm doing great. It's a real honor being on the call with you.
Thank you.
And I'm looking forward to doing some back and forth dialogue here.
Awesome.
I'm just I've over the past, I would say, 2 months, I've been working with different 9 words, but basically, obviously, I'm a real estate agent, and basically, the 9-word email that I put in there is, are you still looking to buy, or are you still looking to sell in Orlando?
Right.
And when I started off, I left the subject line blank.
Uh-huh.
And I found that I got more response by leaving it blank than by putting the 9-word email in the subject line.
Sure. Well, I wouldn't put the 9-word email in the subject line. That my subject lines, like what you really want is either their first name in the subject line, or a blank subject line is good. A lot of emails won't let you just send a blank email, but it's effective because the only thing we want them to open the email. That's the first thing, and it'd be very difficult for somebody to open an email, to not open an email that just says Derek in the subject line. It's been proven again and again in all kinds of eye tracking studies that even in a long list of words where people see their own name, their eyes dilate and they focus on it. It's kind of,
wow.
We're trained to see it. So it's like you get this sense of awareness. It's like scanning a crowd and seeing a familiar face.
Okay.
Right. So if you imagine your inbox, I don't know anybody who has an inbox where when they go to check their email, there's only 1 or 2 emails there. Those days are gone, right? Remember when it was exciting? You've got mail.
Yeah.
You've got mail, right? And now it would be, could you imagine how many times you'd hear that if you had to do that now? That was a novelty in 1997,
That it was.
Yeah. Now you come in and literally all we're looking to do is we're looking to scan that inbox and just kind of observe yourself, how you do it. Look at where your eyes go, and your eyes are going to alternate going back and forth between the subject line and who it's from. So you're going to see a name you recognize. That's going to trigger you get a little squirt of dopamine, and you recognize that, and your eyes dilate a little bit, or you see your name in a subject line, or you see something specific. Just kind of observe yourself, observe yourself observing your inbox, and see that you can tell a message that's an advertising or marketing message compared to a message from your friend. I mean, if you just line up the last 10 random emails that you got, and then you put them beside the last 10 emails that you got from a friend, you're going to get better subject line ideas from your 10 friends than you are from those marketing messages.
Sure. How about, and one thing I've noticed, and I don't know if you've gotten emails when you have like a symbol or a character, not necessarily a letter, or even quotation marks, by, let's say, Derek. That way, I'm finding that it goes to the top of the email if they're sorting emails.
Interesting. I don't know how. I use Gmail, so I don't know how to sort by subject line or anything like that. Maybe people can do that in Outlook. Can you? I don't know.
That's what I use.
Oh, okay. So maybe that's something. Yeah, and I wasn't even aware of that, but. Yeah, I think that, typically if you can, there's no real reason to not be able to put somebody's name in the subject line. And that, is certainly a really good head start. Or, I mentioned to you about the outgoing emails that we send to real estate agents. If you just listed 22 Greystone and you wake up in the morning and there's an email that says 22 Greystone, that's going to kind of jump to the front of your consciousness because you just listed 22 Greystone. Oh, what's this?
Sure. Absolutely. Yeah. Look, how far back would you suggest I go? Obviously,
we just had a friend there who said 2008 was how far Jeremy had gone back, and he's gotten 5 people now to sign up for his $150 a month program. So that's pretty far back. We've had people among all of my real estate clients. We had somebody. I did my Internet Academy in February here in Orlando, and I had somebody who sent out a 9-word email and reconnected with somebody from 2006. Since they had their website since 2006. I've had had a yacht broker came to our I Love Marketing conference, and he is in my mastermind group, but he sent out an email to his yacht prospects. He sells yachts in Fort Lauderdale, and sent out a message to people from 2 and 3 years, and had reconnected with a gentleman who's now under contract on a custom-built yacht for $120 million. So that is, like he always jokes the 9-word email got him a 9-figure client, So that's the most expensive thing I've seen the 9-word email work for. And, 2006 is as far back as I've seen it work. But, there's something to it when there's something about the word still, right? That it implies that for some reason that they were thinking about it at one time. And there's something about assuming that they are, because the only person that you really want to connect with is the person who really is still looking for a house. So our mindset often is that we think about the group. When you're sending these to a group of people, we tend to think about the group and want to send a message that kind of applies to everybody. We don't want to, in case they're not thinking about it, we want to kind of temper the message a little bit. But what you really want to do is we want to take the polarity approach. We only want to speak to the people who are looking for a house, So we just look at them and say, we assume that they do want to buy a home. And we say, are you still looking for a house in Georgetown? because that's the person we want to talk to. If they say no, that's okay. People are often afraid of somebody saying no, but it's a good thing. Just like Jeremy said, if they've moved away or they've gone, it's no good for either of you to continue, that dialogue.
Right.
So it's a good thing,
How about the signature part of the email? Would you suggest that?
Very, very simple. Like your friends, when they send you an email, they don't put a signature in there, right?
Okay.
They don't put any of that. It's just a personal email from one person to another person,
Okay.
Like you'll notice, so the email that I send out to you to invite you on this call here, or for the connection that we had, was just to you, and it was short and personal and expecting a reply. It wasn't a 9-word email, but it was a using that same philosophy, that same, I truly was sending a personal email to you because I saw that Derek came and downloaded Email Mastery, so I want to reach out to you because all of you on this call were among the first people to download, because the magazine goes to subscribers first and it's just starting to hit newsstands. So here's a great opportunity to kind of, before everything really blows up, to make a personal connection with people. So that was my intention. And for everything, it feels like a personal email, right?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, when you first responded back, I was like, okay, this is on an autoresponder. And I was like, well, now, he was talking about, Buy Referral Only and Joe and Terry. And I was like, oh, wow. This is really Dean.
Right. And there's the thing. So that was a great point. So that's why when you send that 9-word email first, people might be thinking, oh, this is an autoresponder, or this isn't talking to me. So they don't want to look stupid by really responding back in a personal kind of way. So they'll respond back, yes, or something, just kind of testing the waters, almost saying, are you talking to me? And then when you reply back and you're referencing what, you talked about, now it's like, oh, he really is talking. I really am talking to a real person here. Yeah. Just what you just described. That's the thing,
Yeah, that was great. And one other thing I wanted to mention to you, and then I'll let you go. I'm sure you're real busy and want other people to talk to. That when I get an email and the subject line has a lot in it, or there's a lot of words in the subject line, it goes to a certain point, and then there's like ... or you don't see the whole subject line. Mm-hmm. Should I keep the subject line short so it doesn't get to that point?
Subject lines short. I do. I mean, I do make a distinction in when I send, because I send broadcast messages as well to everybody. Like now, to announce this call tonight, I sent out a message to everybody who's responded in the first week here and said, Email Mastery Update. That was the subject line that I used. And it's relevant, it's factual, it's like, here's what it is. Because that's the question that's going on in people's minds when they're scanning their inbox. What's this? What's this? What's this? Oh, Email Mastery Update. That's going to trigger in their mind, I just downloaded that. What's the update? Is there more to it? Now you open it up, and it was clear that this wasn't a personal message just to you, because I started out with the little header at the top saying, Email Mastery Update and the date and from Winter Haven, Florida, and it looks like this is more like a newsletter type of thing. And the language that I was using was, speaking to everybody. It was very personal and kind of engaging, but not. You knew the difference. It wasn't a personal message to you.
Absolutely.
Right. And then when I want you to reply, I'm imagining that I'm only talking to you. So there's a difference between email mastery update and a message that says, the first message that I sent you, hi, Derek. That was a personal message, and I really wanted you to respond. So the thing that engages response is asking a question.
That's great.
Right?
That is super.
Personal, expecting a reply. Those are the three key elements that you're looking for.
Wonderful. That's great.
Thanks for sharing, Derek.
Thank you, Dean. I appreciate it.
Okay. Okay, guys, *6 on your phone if you want to brainstorm some emails for you. Here's our next caller.
Hey, Dean. Matt Trusk from Naperville, Illinois. How are you?
Hey, Matt. How are you? Good.
Good. Thanks for inviting me on the call. I didn't want to monopolize it. Derek, I'm also in real estate, so I appreciate he answered a lot of my questions, or his questions did. I have 150 leads from Realtor.com that I'm going to be following up on, so hopefully I'll have some good numbers to report back to you here within the next 72 hours to 4 days as far as where we're at on this. I just want to be abundantly clear as far as our signature on this. We're not using our corporate signature. Am I even signing it as Matt? Or am I just asking the question and sending it away with their...
No, you will sign it as Matt because it's going to come from you. And so I would recommend, the subject line, just their first name.
Right. Okay.
And then the, hi, Dean, are you still looking for a house in Naperville?
Got it.
Matt. And then if you're going to have even just your, not your like HTML, like full on logo, all that kind of signature. These messages are all just text messages, right? Just plain text.
Perfect.
And so you might, a few lines below, just have your, your full name kind of thing, but not anything that is like a commercial email,
Got it.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent. Thank you very much.
Awesome. Good. I can't wait to hear what happens.
Oh, I'm looking forward to it as well.
Awesome. Okay, guys. *6 on your phone. That will bring you into the queue here. That was the last person who was queued up here. So whoever presses *6 next is in. I'm anxious to hear who we have on the call. I've been connecting with quite a few of you by email, so I'm anxious to hear. I spoke to a fly fisher proprietor with all the fly fishing lures. If you're on the call, Don, I'd love to talk with you. Who else have I connected with? All of those people I'd love to connect. So, okay, we got a few more lined up here, so let's see what we're working with. Hi, who's this?
Hi, it's Vanessa.
Hey, Vanessa.
How are you today?
Good.
Well, I don't really have a question. I just wanted to say thank you for this. I've been listening in. My phone will die soon because I'm actually food shopping as I'm listening to this.
Oh, look at you.
I know. I'm multitasking right now.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to thank you for the opportunity. I think this is just a great format, a great way to get together and discuss such an important matter like email. Sometimes we can go on and on and on. And I know the previous callers that you were talking to, they pretty much asked the same things that I would ask. So I just pressed *6 because I wanted to thank you for that. And
thanks, Vanessa.
Have you got
a 9-word email in mind that you're gonna be able to send?
Not yet, but I need one ASAP. I work for an art gallery, and I do marketing.
Mm-hmm.
And normally, marketing people, we can go on and on. Last night I was reading the PDF that you sent out, and I thought it was great. So I sat down and I came up with a few things, and I'm at like 13, 14 words per sentence.
Oh, and you know what? And I say 9, and I don't want to scare you off from sending, just 9 words. But it seems like, you want, what I mean by that is to keep it in as an economy of words as you can without it feeling so truncated. But
I definitely get your point, and I definitely understand, and it's challenging, which I love, because I love being challenged. So I'm working on it. And that's why I said that this phone conference is just great, and I appreciate appreciate you doing this. I really do.
Vanessa, I'm gonna have another call next week. We'll have more people coming, who are getting the magazine over the next week or so. So my hope was that in doing this first call, keeping it a little smaller, that we could get you guys a chance to test and try some 9-word emails, so that when we do the call next week, we'll be able to share some of those results with people. So if you...
Well, I definitely, I will... Please send me an email, and I will be present, and I will have those 9-word emails, because by then I actually have to send out a few.
Perfect.
So
send it
I will
to
definitely
me.
have them.
Send it to me before you send it out, and I'll take a look. I'll give you my critical eye on it for you before you send it out.
I truly appreciate it. Okay. Thank you so much. I truly appreciate
Vanessa.
it. Thank you. Okay.
Hey, Dean, this is Brandon Potts, just south of Fort Worth, Texas. How are you?
Oh, nice. Oh, good. How are you?
Good. Well, I'm in real estate also.
Oh, good.
And I
got a lot of realtors. That's good.
Yes. I read it over the weekend. I guess it was Sunday morning. And as I was reading it, my wife's a real estate agent too. And I got up and I said, Mindy, this is it. This idea will make us thousands. It's so simple. It's perfect.
Yeah.
So we got our team together, and I said, okay, I got one of my team members. I said, I want you to go through all of our archived internet leads, anything 4 months and older.
Yeah.
And I said, I want you to track it. I said, you send everyone out. I need to know the numbers, how many you send out, and what responses we get back.
Yeah.
Now, granted, they just did it for a day, because now they're only in a conference this week, the rest of this week, but they'll be back next week to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So she sends out 60 emails in one day.
Yeah.
We get 7 responses back out of 60.
That's great.
2 of them were negative, which is fine, just like you said. Now we know. One couldn't
now
credit
you know
qualify.
Exactly.
One had already purchased a house. I'm thinking, dadgum, if we'd have done this earlier, we'd have got them.
Yeah.
That's how I think.
Yeah.
But we got 5 positive responses out of 60 emails, which is almost a 10% return.
Mm-hmm.
I come from marketing background. I said, that is an awesome return on a simple email.
Mm-hmm.
Now, my wife, when we did it, she says, it won't work. They're going to see their first name in there and think it's spam and junk mail. I said, why reinvent the wheel?
Right.
Let's just try it. What do we have to lose? Try it, and we'll see.
Yeah. That is exciting. I love to hear that.
Pretty excited about that, and I thought, sure enough, this works.
Well, now you're going to get your whole team looking through their glove compartments and their desk drawers and their sofa cushions and their day timers and their calendars and their old phone messages to find all those people that they've been in contact with that they never reconnected with. That's who we're going to keep sending those to. So
that's
congratulations. That's
give you
exciting.
That testimony.
I love to hear that.
Well, that was it. I just want to give you that testimony, and it kind of was good that I could kind of go back to my wife and say, for once, I said, see, now just say it. I was right.
That's so funny. Well, you guys,
I don't get to say that very often.
Yeah. If you're in real estate, there are, I've got a whole bunch of real estate podcasts at marketingmonday.com. If you go there, there's all kinds of hundreds of episodes of the Marketing Monday podcast. It's all specifically for real estate. So there'll be some other ideas in there.
Marketingmonday.com.
That's the one.
All right, I'll check it out.
Thanks, Brennan.
All right, thank you.
You are welcome. Okay, guys, *6 on your phone. That'll bring you in. That's exciting results. I love to hear that. Hi, who's this?
Dean?
Hi.
Hi, this is Don Davis.
Don Davis, you're my fly fisherman.
That's true. That's true.
There we go. Tell me, what's been going on for you?
Well, as you know, I received my magazine the 1st of October. Mm-hmm. Saw your ad, went to the site, and was planning to send out a email on Saturday the 5th of October. And I said, well, okay, I'll try this. So I sent the email to my customers that said, are you looking for Christmas gifts for fly fishers? And I was really astounded.
Wow.
I immediately started getting emails, and it hasn't stopped. I mean, the orders are pouring in.
Oh, I love it. That's fantastic. You see, there's the thing. Like I've stopped. I was going to say I've been amazed. I've stopped being amazed, Don, at the variety of businesses that I've seen this work for now. I mean, I've seen it with a gentleman in the UK who sells motorcycle jeans, manufactures and designs them himself, but he sent the same, are you still looking for stylish motorcycle jeans? Mm-hmm. But I was sharing with you in email an idea for Christmas that I've done something similar to this with a friend here in Winter Haven who's a barefoot water skier, and he sells water ski equipment and all kinds of things like that. And what we've done in the past is send an email to his list asking them to send their mailing address so that he can send the Christmas wish book to, and we address it to the person in charge of making sure Don Davis has the best Christmas ever.
I saw that. That's a great idea.
Which, now I love how you're thinking that far ahead, but that's the way where you could do a nice email like that to your list, and you've probably got, because you physically mail things to people, you've probably got a really great mailing list too. Do you do any direct mail with people?
Yes, I do. And in fact, I had just prepared to order some postcards, and the postcard says, are you still looking for Christmas gifts for fly fishers? And the reason I did that is because some of the people that receive my email now will receive the follow-up postcard.
Yeah.
Now, the key here is that postcard will be seen by some of the spouses.
Yes, that's why when we addressed it, we would send it to the person in charge of making sure Don Davis has the best Christmas ever. Who do you use for your postcard printing? If you can use now with digital variable printing, you can you can personalize the actual cards for the same price as just printing and mailing regular postcards now.
Well, actually, I've just been ordering the postcards from Vistaprint and doing my own,
and doing the mailing. Well, I'll send you an email, and I'll give you an introduction to my printer, who can do digital variable printing. And that way you can put their name right in the thing, or you can put, you could, even build it into the artwork on the card. It's so amazing, all the things that you can do. And so that might be a great idea for you.
Excellent.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, that's very exciting. I love to hear that.
Oh, well, I was just tickled that I found your ad in the Success magazine and then went immediately to your site, and I was impressed with everything I saw. I said, oh, wow, I got to give this a try.
Yeah. Oh, I'm excited. I love to hear all these, what we've got right now is you guys are all the action takers. This is what we're dealing with. I'm excited about this, about being able to connect with everybody, and I'm excited to hear the results. So as they continue to come in, I'm going to do, as I said, I'll do another call next week. We'll have more people as the magazine's really starting to gain momentum now. So,
well, I listen again. I thank you very much for what you've done for me. I appreciate it.
Thanks so much, Don.
Okay, thank you.
Guys, *6 on your phone. That'll bring you into the queue. We've got time for a couple of more to brainstorm here. Wow, 9:53. Time just flies, doesn't it? Okay, let's see who we've got here. Hi.
Hi, Dean. My name is Dana Mazurek. I'm in Texas.
Hey, how are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Good, good.
I actually just, I haven't had time to read the magazine. I just actually was able to get it out of the mail and open it up Wednesday. So, I haven't had time to read your entire article. So if I ask questions that are in your article,
no problem. No, I get it. I mean, literally, I don't think. I'm going to let you know a secret. I don't think anybody on the call's read the whole thing yet. But you don't need to. You know enough just from the article to be able to do it. So
Right. And I'm really excited about it.
Yeah.
So here's what I've got going on. I'm in financial services, and one of our cornerstone products is a credit restoration product. And I get the whole 9-word email, and I'm really excited about it. But, you being with a real estate background, I'm sure you recognize when you talk to people about financials, that's something that's a very emotionally charged subject. You sell somebody a house, that could be good or bad, just kind of depending on the circumstances, much like credit. I mean, if your credit is suffering. I mean, if it is, you just know. But it's not something that I could go, hey, so do you still want to get your credit fixed? I mean, is that something that I can say? How would I word that in such a way that, it would elicit the response that I'm looking for and not offend them? Does that make sense?
Well, it's all going to be part of how you came in contact with them. So I imagine that if you've got somebody's email address, it's because they have bad credit and or have reached out to you in some way, right? What would be the circumstances that you would have somebody's name and email address? How would that come about? Maybe just think of a couple of people and let's brainstorm how we could reconnect with them.
Sure. A couple of different ways. Sometimes through networking groups. I do a little bit of advertising here and there, nothing too crazy, but they will submit their information through, a capture page, things like that. So they have given me their information.
Sure. And what would be what would they have left their name and email address for? So what would be the connection there? Did they get a report or a book or
you know what? I don't have my report or my book completed yet. So no, it's like specifically it would be an ad for credit restoration.
Okay.
Like for example, I have put some ads like on Craigslist, for example. I've put some ads there and people will input their information to find out about it. Okay.
And so they're inquiring and they would say, hey, can you tell me about what you do, or do you ask them at that point what their credit score is, or how would you, if you saw them kind of thing in person, how would you say that in a way
for example, I'm actually involved in a networking group with realtors, but it's not just realtors, it's several different businesses. So, obviously as we're networking with one another, we stand up and we do our little elevator pitch and let everybody know what we're doing. And oftentimes what I find is people will pull me aside. Like, for example, the last networking meeting I went to, I had a vascular surgeon pull me aside and he's like, hey, so, I've been through a divorce. These are the things that have happened. Do you think you could help me? So those sort of things are the questions that come to me. So, yeah, it's kind of a case-by-case basis.
Okay. And so this would be, I would think if there's a specific interaction that you've had with people, that going back to the thread that you where you left off, sort of thing. So you're kind of refreshing that if you had this conversation, maybe an email dialogue with them, that you could go back and reply to the last message or the last conversation that you had with them. That's a good way of restoring that. But if the words that they used when they responded to you in the first place was credit restoration, then it wouldn't be out of line to send somebody an email that said, "Hi, Dean, are you still looking to restore your credit, or are you still interested in credit restoration?" Because that's what they came to you for in the first place, you know? So it's not like you're just going to somebody random who may or may not have ever had a credit issue. The pool of people that you're dealing with, the only reason that you have their name and email is because they reached out to you about credit restoration. So I don't think it's not a problem, not embarrassing to do that. And I think that if you can take just a factual approach, it's no judgment on them. It's just that it happens to everybody. It's just the fact that your credit score is still, 600 or whatever.
Right.
And so that, I think, neutral, just plain interest thing. And the way that I would go through this is I would just kind of brainstorm these and think about different ways of saying that. And I often when I'm doing that, I imagine that I've just come across them. I'm out walking, or I'm sitting somewhere, and in they walk, and there they are, and I have that flash of recognition that this is somebody that I've had some interaction with. What would I say to them? And maybe would I say, "Hey, did you get your credit back on track?" Or "How's your credit doing?" And I'm just brainstorming ideas now, and don't be afraid to write out on a yellow pad is how I would do it. Just write out a bunch of different ones, and you're going to find that there's a lot of work that goes into creating an email that seems like you didn't put a lot of work into choosing the words. You know what I mean by that?
Yes, I do.
There's a lot of careful choosing of words to make it seem like you didn't carefully choose your words,
Right. Well, that, and because email is read without tone and inflection, it's whatever they put into it. So
exactly. Yes. So that's why if you can charge it neutral, there's not, it's not lost. So I think I would look at laying out the vocabulary of that, credit, it's almost like an artist getting their color palette together, they're mixing the colors. That's what you're doing on your yellow pad. So you might go through that and start just listing the words that are in the family that are at all related, even peripherally, so you might start with credit or credit score or restoration or repair or, any word that comes to mind. Just get as many of them out there and just start putting them together. Are you is probably a good start, or did you, or, if there's something news related, like something that has changed in a situation, like there's maybe a new program or a new, something that is going to be a benefit to them, regardless of whether, if there's a new mortgage program, for instance, that now instead of having to wait 2 years after bankruptcy, they could get one after 1 year. There's a reason why you're connecting with them, kind of thing.
Okay.
Yeah. But
thank you. I appreciate that.
Well, and what I mentioned to Vanessa, I'm going to do a call next week as well. So what I'd love is if you take this kind of approach that we've just been talking about, and maybe brainstorm some samples, and then email me, send me your example, and I'll give you some feedback, and then maybe we can talk about it next week too.
I'll do it. I will definitely do that. Can I ask you one other real quick question?
Sure, absolutely. Yeah.
There are some potential leads that I've come into contact with that maybe I haven't received their email, but I do have their cell phone number. Would this work in a texting format as well?
Yeah, because you want to. Yeah, you could certainly use it in a text format as well. And you may want to say, you could, if you have something that you wanted to email me, for instance, if you don't have their email, I might text, and say, hey, Dean, what's your email address? I want to send you something, or something like that.
Okay, but don't go in and...
No, you're not going to go on. You're not going to go into it over text,
Okay. All right. All right. Well, thank you very much. I certainly appreciate your insight.
Yeah. Well, I can't wait to hear how it evolves here. So please come back next week.
Yes, definitely. Send me the email. Thank you.
I will. Absolutely. Thanks. Here we go.
Hello?
Hi.
Hi. Hey, Dean, this is Clay Anderson.
Hey, Clay Anderson. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. Say, a question I have would be based on the nine words.
Yeah.
Could you and I pulled this off some of the other quotes or comments from maybe from a website or maybe ilovemarketing.com in relation to this. But can you get into two things? One is when you say your 9-word email, I know one gal used it as "Hi, Dean" in the subject line, and then finished off with 7 more words or 6 more words with her name for a total of 9. Or do you have some? What is your traditional?
Well, there's no 9-word police, so it's okay to use 10 or 11 words. And the the spirit of it is to use an economy of words, to use as few words as you can to just ask the question, to start the engagement. And so the purpose is just to ask a simple question, that's going to engage somebody in a dialogue, preferably something that they can answer yes or no, a factual question, this or that. Another one we use with the real estate is if you come to my real estate website and you are looking for a house in Winter Haven and you leave your name and email, we will send you back a message that would say, "Hi, Clay, are you an investor or are you looking for a house to live in?"
Right. Yeah.
Which would be an either or, and that's because there's so many ways to use email, Clay, and that is something. There's so many opportunities, and when somebody first engages with you, you can use a sort of different version of the 9-word email. But what we're focused on is the first thing, and the thing that everybody, I call this like a magic trick. You've heard people on the call even that have just in the short time, the 1 week that this has been out, have sent the 9-word email and have real bankable results. This is an asset that every business has, if they've been in business for more than 90 days, is people who have inquired that haven't yet bought. And the purpose is just to reconnect with those people. Now, as you're going forward, there's so many ways to, nip that in the bud kind of thing, that you're connecting with everybody the moment that they respond, and you're continuing that dialogue with people. Because for every person that says, yes, I am still looking for a house in Winter Haven, you run into the people who say, "Oh, we bought a house," and you know, just like our friend from Texas was sharing that, you know, he lost out on that one, but that's okay. You know, this is going to help you reconnect with the ones there.
Okay, and just in a side to that, what would be a frequency? I know the idea is to kind of rekindle a relationship, and I got to say that when you send your emails out, there's a real, oh my gosh, she's talking directly to me.
Right.
You know, that's
because
that's
I
your
really
style.
am. That's the other thing, is that you can't fake that. You know, if you're going to send an email to somebody that is personally engaging, or that you've got to be prepared that when I send those emails to you, and I talked about it a little earlier, that there's a difference in the voice that I use when I'm speaking to the group, and there's a difference in the voice that I use when I'm talking just to you, and you know the difference because I'm only speaking to you, and I want you to reply, and I'm going to be there to reply to your reply.
Just like a friend would.
Just like a friend would. That's exactly right. You can't fake this. You really have to care. You know? That's the thing. So you got to be prepared and know that people are going to reply, and you've got to know where you're headed with that.
Mm-hmm. Yep, where you're going to steer the conversation or steer the next interaction with.
Exactly.
And on the basis of the 9-word email, how often would you do that to your list?
Well, I think that, you know, you've got a chance to do it with everybody who's been 60 or 90 days and you haven't connected with them, you know? And then hopefully that you start, that's where you start, is let's go back and reconnect with everybody that you've neglected or haven't connected with. And now you can do that sort of every 90 days to as a recapture to everybody who you're, you know, who's coming in from now forward. But when we start continuing on here, that you're going to see there are other strategies for engaging with 9-word emails or similar in the very beginning, so that you're engaging with more of them and they're not going to slip through the cracks like that.
Perfect. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
okay.
I'm impressed by how well that works. You bet. Thanks.
Awesome. Thanks, Clay. Okay, guys, 10 after 10 here. Let's wrap it up for this week. As I said, I'm going to do another call next week. We will probably have a little bit bigger group. So just a little inside information here is when we do next week's call, if you want to jump to the head of the line here kind of thing, you'll know before I even announce it to press *6 on your phone, and that'll get you in the queue, so you won't get lost in the crowd there, because I really do want to hear from you guys. So if when I start the call, if you've got something to share or you want to have that follow-up, if you'll press *6 right when we start the call, that'll give me, I'll know that you're somebody who has, who we've already had a conversation with, and I will look forward to hearing the results. And if you're working on those 9-word emails right now, email me and let me know what you're working on, and I'll take a look at them and give you some feedback. It's really, I'm excited to help you guys and craft these emails as best that we can, so we get some fast results. Already we see, 3 or 4 examples here of really fast action. Several tens of thousands of dollars of real bankable results already from reading an article in a magazine. So congratulations to you guys for taking action. I'm happy to get to know you, and I'm happy that you came on the call. I look forward to continuing the dialogue, and we'll talk again next week. So have a great night, and I will talk to you next time. Bye-bye.
And there we have it. Another great episode of More Cheese, Less Whiskers. If you'd like to carry on the conversation, first of all, what you can do on this episode is you could go to emailmastery.com and you can download the Email Mastery ebook that everybody was talking about in this episode. And then try a 9-word email yourself. I'd love to hear how that goes for you, and send me your 9 words at dean@deanjackson.com. Just send me an email. Tell me what happened, how you tried it, and let's see what we can do to get a 9-word email working for you.